Hey, I'm Carmen, and I play James Bevel in Selma. And what I did to prepare really was just dig into as much material that I can get on James Bevel, whether it was literature, footage and documentary films that dealt with him, interviews that I could find of him, even if it didn't deal with 65, even if it was in 85. I just wanted to get a grasp on him. And I did my best to talk to people who knew him. I only was able to talk to maybe one or two people, but it was very helpful.
I'm Carmen Ejogo, and I play Coretta Scott King in the film. My process of preparation was a little complicated because I'd played her once before, many years ago. So I came to this project with a lot of research under my belt already. So I wanted to utilize that to some degree, but I also wanted to have a better understanding of her psychological state, which is something that this script really attempts to explore a lot more. And for that, there's not a whole lot of factual, sort of palpable material out in the world. You know, Coretta was very good at protecting her self-image. So David and I had to definitely take some artistic license and sort of imagine a lot of what might have gone on between them. But I think it was based on the fact that what they were dealing with were universal struggles in the home, as a mother, as a wife. You know, I think the things that they were having to handle were things that, that so many husbands and wives have to go through. And so in that sense, I feel like we weren't taking huge stretches or leaps of faith in our interpretations. I feel like it was still grounded. But yeah, it was an intriguing process to figure out what was going on in the domestic and private world of these people who were so very good at protecting their self-image.
Telling the story of Selma, it gave people insight, enough insight on who Dr. King was as a human being, the people around him. It's like we didn't need to see like him growing up and going then how, you know, we didn't need that story. This story was like a real great slice of life that really, it captured him as a human being, because you did see him like smoking cigarettes. You did see him dealing with the infidelity and how he had to deal with that at home. You saw him taking out the garbage. You saw him like doubting himself. You saw him like utilizing his team in the highest way. You saw him standing up and speaking up to the president, like, I'm going to fight this. So, you know, you really get the scope of who Dr. King is and the dynamics of who he is in this whole plight of Selma. So I thought it was like a beautiful take on it.
I learned that Dr. King was a master at media manipulation. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that he was very strategic about knowing when to sort of set up an event and make sure the cameras were there to really bring home the struggle into every American's home via the TV set. That was something quite astounding to me.
Yeah, and also, like, even just being able to talk to, like, Ambassador Andrew Young and John Lewis. You know, Ambassador Young mentioned one thing about how they used to joke a lot, because they would laugh just to get through some of the real struggle they were going through. You know, just it was so tough that sometimes you just gotta laugh just to, you know, stay at some type of peace. So I kind of learned that about all of them, that they were, you know, fun guys at the same token still fighting, and how young they were in the fight, and just how dedicated and committed they were to this everyday struggle and what they sacrificed. That's what I learned about Dr. King and his whole team. Myself and John Legend, we created a song called Glory, which is really about the people that were a part of the movement in the civil rights movement and marched in Selma to Montgomery, but it also is about today. It's about what we see going on today and how these movements relate, like how history has brought us to here, but we have a long way to go, and the fight is still there, and it takes all of us to win the fight, and it's not just a black issue.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys,
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.